Just a little disclaimer, these videos are going to be like short fuse where you're going to see a first impressions and then a full review and then a first impressions and then a full review. I didn't do it rapidly like that intentionally. What had happened was I got a bunch of stuff in and I filmed videos and I put them in a folder I put them in the wrong folder. And so when I looked on YouTube at what content was available for you guys, I realized that there's like 4 videos that you guys didn't see. And so it was the first impressions of the Justice, the first impressions of the Convict for Concept and Kizer, and then the full reviews. And so they were in a separate folder. So I apologize. You're going to get like a first impressions and then a first impressions, then a full review, then a full review. And then I'll try and figure out how I'm going to do my 5 fast. But at any rate, I apologize. It just was something weird that I did. I just couldn't figure out where those videos went. So now let's go ahead and start the video. Guys, we are going to talk about the Kizer Justice. And this is a knife I thought I was going to like a lot more. It's not that it's a bad knife. I just, I think I've gotten so many other things in that were just more of what's up my alley these days than this. This was something that maybe a year or 2 ago I would have been over the moon with. And it has nothing to do with the quality of the knife. It just has to do with how my tastes have changed. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But first, you know what time it is. It's time for a little bit of music. Guys, this is a great knife. It's just I think it's kind of outside of the things that I really would purchase right now when there's so many other options that I have found that I like more. But before we get into that, you guys knew eventually this was going to be up here. It's Donut Operator, fellow Navy veteran, ex-cop, has a really cool channel, does a lot of LEO stuff, but he also does just a lot of random funny stuff. I like some of his breakdown videos and stuff like that. But this is his I Hate Gear reviews that he did of a cooler. So go give him a follow. I can't afford to send him any money, but I can send him some views. So you guys go check his channel out if you haven't already. I imagine a lot of you guys have. So let's turn this around and take a good look at this from above. And I'll tell you why this is something I really didn't carry as much as I had thought I would. All right, guys, what are we looking at? We're looking at the Kizer Justice. Now, this is a knife that I like the idea of, but it's not so much a knife I think I would purchase right now. It's just because I think it's a little bit bigger and bulkier than a lot of the knives I've been carrying lately, and I just kind of gotten a taste for those smaller knives. Nothing against this knife. It is a great, great knife. I used it. I didn't carry it as much as some of the others. I did have to hone it up, but let's get the specs out of the way, and then we can talk about all the little intricacies of it. So this is the Kizer Justice. So you're looking at a 3.75 inch blade that's done drop point, full flat grind, satin in Bowler N690. It's really, really comfortable in hand. I have to admit, it's super comfortable in hand. So your handle length on this is 4.875 inches in blue G10 with a stainless steel liner, and that gives you an overall length of 8.75. So this, like I said, this is a stainless steel liner lock that's running on ceramic bearings. It is super, super smooth, guys. Buttery smooth. A lot of these new Kizers that I've seen have been great. So we'll go ahead and get some blade stock thickness. They have the blade stock thickness listed at, I actually don't see a blade stock thickness on this one, so we'll just go ahead and, I guess I didn't see the specs for that. So let's go ahead and just measure it. So you're looking at 0.1 at its thickest, right back here behind the thumb stud, 0.12, 0.125, 126. Behind the edge thickness, behind the edge on this one, I'm going to say, I didn't measure it yet, but I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit thick. Yeah, 0.2, 0.25, I'm sorry, 0.02, 0.025, 23, somewhere in that range. Not super thin behind the edge, but also not so thick that it's outside of what, you know, I would typically have carried. This does have a reversible titanium pocket clip, and it is attractive. The pocket clip is nice and wide across the base, gives you a lot of stability in that. It does not move much unless you really put some pressure on it. And like I said, it's a blue G10. They have this listed at 5.11 ounces. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. Like I said, we can't necessarily trust Nick's judgment of this scale. It does not necessarily measure out. They have it at 5.11. I'm going to say this is going to be like, well, we'll just see what it says. It's going to be 5, and then it's just coming in at 5. So in grams, for you guys that don't use Freedom units, in grams, that is right at 143. I think that actually, let's just check it. I think that's lighter than the Kizer Grazioso. No, but I mean, it's a substantially larger knife. So let's get all this stuff out of the way and take a good look at this. So this knife is really well done. Kizer has really been doing a good job with these knives. The ones that Jared has sent me have been great. I did cut with this a good bit. I had a lot of cardboard to cut down while I was carrying this, and a knife we're going to do a review of here just soon, which is the, is it the Convict? I was carrying these on and off, rotating them back and forth. I cut a bunch of cardboard with this and that Concept. I think it's the Convict. I can't remember off the top of my head. So at any rate, nice milled G10. It's got the textured G10, that checkered G10 patterning. Typically, that has a tendency to be a little grippier than I like, but where they put the milling, you're not making a lot of contact with that pocket clip under there. You can see it's not pinching it. It's more pinching it into that groove there than it was onto what can be some pocket-eating G10. Everything is so polished. Now it does have a glass breaker, and this is one of those things. I like the fact that it has a glass breaker. I wish more knives actually had glass breakers on them, because just like I said in my why do I carry a knife video, if you're in a rollover car crash, you want a knife so that you can cut yourself and free yourself from a vehicle. But also, if you can't roll the windows up or down, this is a good item to have to help extricate yourself from the vehicle, is to have something that you can bust that window with. And it's something I don't think about until I see it on a knife. Does have a lanyard hole. I wish that this was more along the lines of some of the others where the lanyard aperture was in the backspacer, like you see on, like we've seen on a few of the knives that Jared sent me. Nice internal milling for weight reduction. This is an attractive knife, and it is really comfortable in hand. I have to say that flipper tab is about perfect. I really like, you can load up on it. You can light switch it. If you've got strong fingers, you can load up on it. It's a little bit more uncomfortable. This is one of those ones that's more predominant light switching than push button. But if you got good strong fingers and they're not sensitive, you can definitely load up on that and get it. The grind on this was really, really well done. I didn't see any inconsistencies with the edge grind. It wasn't asymmetrical that I could really tell. I think that their sharpening tool is just about perfect on this. For maintenance, you're not going to be hitting down into anything. It gets you enough standoff from your flipper tab that you're not in that. And the action on it is good. You can flip it with the thumb studs or with the flipper tab. And some of these new liner locks that I'm seeing are really, really nice. So hang on just a second, guys. I wanted to grab something to show you as a size comparison. All right, guys, so like I said, this is a fairly large knife. We'll get just a couple comparisons. First of all, everybody knows the size of a Sebenza 21. You're looking at, you can see it's a little bit bigger than Sebenza 21. It's about maybe a half an inch longer than the 21. The Reat Horizon D in carbon fiber, just about 1 for 1. I think they are exactly the same size, if you want to know the truth. Very, very similar. I like these knives both a lot. I don't carry this as much. I've been carrying smaller stuff. So this is Horizon D, Benchmade 940. So most people know the size of 940. You can see it's about an inch longer than the 940 overall. And then a knife I've been carrying a lot, I kind of forget I have sometimes, is this the production Bob Terzuola from Drop and Bob Terzuola. This is the Bob Terzuola ATCF that I've had that in my pocket a lot. I got that out of my box and been carrying it a lot. So yeah, I mean, it is a relatively large knife, and that's one of the things I haven't been carrying a lot of big knives lately because I've been carrying so much of stuff Jared sent me, which is a lot smaller, more gentleman style folders. Don't get me wrong, I do appreciate a big, beefy folder. Big and beefy, sweet and meaty. You guys remember that comedian? This is a great, great knife. It's just not something that's in my wheelhouse right at the moment. I'm sure that when things change and I'm out and about doing more stuff, wearing actual adult grown-up pants instead of like basketball shorts and track pants all the time, because you guys know this is pretty much all I'm doing right now. So, but like I said, I can really appreciate it. If you're an outdoors guy, this would be great, be right up your alley. And the fact is, it's a little thicker behind the edge than some of the other knives that we've had recently, but it still cuts really well. It really, really does. And N690 is a good steel, really corrosion resistant. It takes a decent edge, holds it fairly well. And the heat treat on this, when I honed this up, seems to be good because I just honed it up on a stone. That guy's had a car alarm going off. Jeez, I was just gonna have to go with it. So like I said, it honed up really well on a nice, on my ceramic plate, on my ceramic stone. Didn't give me too many troubles, came right back up to sharp. The factory edge on it was a little dull when Jared sent it to me. So, but I mean, I know he uses his stuff and then sends it. He tells me when he sends me, he's like, I can't attest to how good the edges are on them. So it's not a knock against Jared. So, all right, guys, that's about all I've got on this one. It is a good knife. I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a larger folder. This is something that you could really get into. It is really comfortable in hand because it's nice and wide across the back. And when you've got big hands and you want something that's really stable, that's one of the things that I meant to talk. I love the fact that some of these frame locks are getting so much better. I didn't used to like frame locks. You can have a much wider handle, a thicker handle in hand, and it sometimes it's more comfortable to have that thicker handle. So yeah, good knife. I like the aesthetics of it. And so at the price point, I'll mention the price point in the outro, but at the price point, it's a really good deal. So, all right, guys, let's turn this back around and do some final thoughts. Guys, like I said, not a horrible knife at all. I really like it. It's really well done. It's just, it's out of that size range I've been carrying. Did you see that action though? The Kizer action has really improved since the first one I've seen. I think I mentioned that in the tabletop. But it's just kind of outside of the realm of what I've been carrying, especially the fact that I've been carrying, I still do carry my Norseman, it's really large. I was carrying this forward because it's got a deep carry pocket clip. I was carrying it a little forward, and it was a little bit awkward because it is a good bit bigger than the other stuff I've been carrying as a secondary knife to my really fancy knife that I love to carry. So, but other than that, no real complaints. It's just kind of outside of what I typically would purchase now. The things that I would think about purchasing now are typically a good bit smaller, more like gentleman's folders like Grazioso and some of those other smaller knives. But not a ding against it, really good knife. So that's about it on this one, guys. Price point, you really can't beat it. I found it a couple places for $69. They were sold out. Blade HQ may still have some at that price point, but I will put an affiliate link to the Amazon link for this down below because I do know they have them there. So not 100% sure the price point. I think it was like 70. But you know, sub $100, really good knife, good quality, really well done. So that's it for this one, guys. Full review, the final review of the Kizer Justice. If you guys like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like the videos, give them a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. Guys, if you want to support the channel financially, however, there are a ton of ways you can do it. There's membership tab down below that gets you in on early access to videos, exclusive content if you're a premium tier member, exclusive giveaways if you're a premium baseline tier member. Lots of things you can do. I've got giveaways that are going to be triggered when I hit the 50 paying members mark. So take a look at that. I did a membership thing about that. Affiliate links down below where you can go shopping for all the stuff you've got here. I have an Ember Shirt Co. storefront where you can purchase things that necessarily aren't my merch, but you can also go to my merch store, and anything you purchase there, if you use the code CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, all one word, capital C, CrazySharp, capital S, all one word, get you 10% at checkout. I do believe that I have that listed down below in the description. So guys, that's pretty much it. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next video.